Coming up,
we're going to be dunking your foot into an electric bath that's going to have that current running through it.
getting back on your feet after an ankle injury can be a pain, but Dr. Kyle Krupa is here to ensure you'll be stronger than before or prevent the injury in the first place. And Dr. Monique is back with more methods to keep you in tip-top shape. All that and more is today on SoFlo Health. Happy Mother's Day to all of the moms out there. My mom is the one that taught me the most about health and helped me be as healthy as I am today, beginning with giving me life in the first place. Hello and welcome to SoFlo Health. I'm Hunter Franke, and being a mom requires a lot of energy. And whether or not they seem to have it, they always find a magical way to summon it when they need it most. So in honor of moms and the energy that they bring for us, we are gonna go for a walk and a little talk about energy. But if we're gonna walk, you're gonna need healthy ankles. And fortunately, I know how to achieve just that thanks to this guy. Roll it. The video, not your ankle. You might recognize him from last time. This is Dr. Kyle Krupa. Doc, thanks for being with us today.
Of course.
We're going over the ankle, correct?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
And why are we addressing the ankle? What's going on with it?
We're trying to open up the ankle to give it a little bit more mobility than it did prior to, specifically in the sagittal plane, meaning forward and backward, because left and right, it was a little bit wobbly and loose. So we're trying to give you a little bit more mobility in that sagittal plane. Okay,
great. So where do we start?
We're going to start with the cupping.
Okay, cool.
So I'm going to start there, just down in this lower area where there's less skin surface. And then I'm gonna have you move your ankle up and down, okay? So I'm just gonna hold the cups in place just so they don't fall off. But go ahead and move that ankle up and down, and you're gonna feel it kind of tugging on that tissue underneath, right? And then I'll pop these off. And then next thing we'll do is called a dragging technique. So you can see it did leave some cupping marks there. A dragging technique will not leave the circle because I'm not putting as much suction through the cup. I do a little bit less suction, and now I just go in the direction of the actual muscle itself.
Wow. That one little bump you went over was like, that's fine. This is the normal like massage. But that one spot, I tell you what.
So what we're trying to do is create negative pressure underneath the tissue.
And how is this helping my ankle?
Okay, so all this tissue here is actually stiffening up and holding your ankle in place. So the whole idea is to try to open up and like kind of uncork this bottle here where we could release some of the lymphatic drainage and push that swelling through, right? So we open up the channels here, and then like I said, increasing the actual blood flow down, warming the tissue up, and providing some pliability back to these tissues is really stiffened up on you.
What's next?
So now we're gonna be placing the dry needles along the tibialis anterior like we talked about before. And I'm actually gonna go around where the ankle sprain itself was. And I'm going to be going into the anterior talofibular ligament, ATF, and that is going to try to stimulate some blood flow in there as well.
Great. Okay. So how does this differ from what the cupping just did?
So the cupping was for lymphatic drainage and to bring blood flow down, right? And so now that we got all this lymphatic blood flow going on, now is when we want to actually dry needle and take advantage of that increase in blood flow.
Let's do it.
That makes sense?
Yep.
All right.
All right. And so I'm feeling interesting things. What's happening?
Yeah, so we're hitting blood flow and regenerative healing processes from a lot of different angles here. So first starting with the dry needling, right? Increasing blood flow that way, literally adding insult to injury and puncturing the tissue. All right, then we add the electrical stimulation. The electrical stimulation is helping to override any kind of pain signal that might make you tense up, right? So you want to try to create this relaxing effect with the actual stimulation. And then now we're adding near infrared light, and that near infrared light is going to help open up the lymphatic drainage channels, right? And then increase a lot of blood flow back down as well. So think like vasodilation, nice little bit of warmth there, and actually it's pretty good for the skin and some of the tissues underneath as well. So we're hitting it from this angle. We're going to do about 10 minutes just like this. Try to get as much fresh blood in there as we can and cycle out some of those old metabolites that were stuck there.
All right, well, I'll hang here for a bit. We'll be right back here at Crew PT and Performance Lab in just a bit with the next phase of taking care of your ankle. turns out that using your energy to exercise also increases the circulation of oxygen throughout your body, much like this fountain is oxygenating the lake by getting the water to move around. And that helps fuel your mitochondria and helps it use energy more efficiently. Also, exercising preps you for a better night's sleep, which guess what? Gives you more energy. Chewy is known for being a one-stop shop for pet supplies, whether it's food, meds, anything. And now they also have veterinarian services. And right here in Plantation is their first location with Chewy Vet Care. Let's go meet the president of Chewy Health, Mita, to learn more. I'm now joined by Mita, who is the president of Chewy Health. Mita, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Hunter. So excited to be here.
Of course. How did this come to be?
We realized that, in a pet parent's journey, just providing food and supplies isn't everything, right? Healthcare is a big part of that. So we put a lot of thought into how do we make the space super welcoming? How do you make it, separate waiting areas for dogs and cats so that makes it more comfortable?
For Chewy customers, how is being a part of the Chewy ecosystem beneficial?
For example, we have a pet insurance and wellness plan. So really kind of gets you the accessibility and affordability aspect of kind of coming into the vet very easily. We have a telehealth platform called Connect with the Vet. So, our clinic is open until 6 p.m. every day. But what happens if, a baby, your chihuahua, what happens if, God forbid, the baby eats something at like 9 p.m. and you need to talk to someone, right?
Sure.
Who do you talk to? Who do you call, right? Your options are you can go to urgent care or you're looking for where to go, right? And urgent care is expensive.
Right.
So
and typically for animals, especially far away from where you are.
Far away from where you are, right? Because
lucky,
they're not so many of them. So you can call us. You can call Connect with the Vet, which is our telehealth platform. It's free for all Chewy customers. We charge you nothing, but the vets are available to you to actually answer questions, triage your problems. They have access to and they can actually see medical records now. It's so easy just being here. And I think just kind of knowing that you have the support of all of that behind you just makes them also kind of practice care hassle-free.
I want to see it for myself, so I understand that I'm about to go meet with Dr. Heather.
She's a regional medical director. She's been with us since we started thinking about, what the experience and what the clinical experience for Chewy Vet Care should be. She will walk you through the clinic and talk to you all about medical care.
Perfect. Well, Mita, thank you so much for your time. Let's go meet the doctor. This is Dr. Heather. Doctor, thanks for having us in today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to show you what Chewy Vet Care is all about.
Great. Where are we right now? This looks like a living room.
So we are right now in our comfort room. So it helps pets when they come in and they're very anxious not feel like they're in an animal hospital.
And this all looks pretty high tech at the same time. So what are we dealing with here?
This is our exam room screen, and this will kind of walk that client through the entire process.
So doctor, what is this?
So these are our pet enclosures. They're not your typical all stainless steel cages with the bars in the front. These are glass front, the lights are dimmable, so that way when these pets come out of the exam room, especially our kitty patients, if they do need to be housed for the day for some diagnostic testing, they're in a comfortable environment, so it just decreases their stress and their anxiety while they're in their hospital.
A common theme here is it's comfort for the doctor, it's a comfort for the patient, the dog, and a comfort for the owners as well.
Absolutely.
I think we've got one last bit of tech to check out.
So behind me you can see our digital radiology system here. We have the capability of providing x-rays for the entire body, our chest, our belly, any limbs, extremities.
If we'd like to learn more, how can we?
Come visit us online and schedule an appointment.
Great, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
No, that's not a science experiment. That's more rehab for an injured ankle from Dr. Kyle Krupa when SoFlo Health returns.
Focusing on you. Innovations in modern medicine from your team of experts at UHealth, the University of Miami Health System.
A disruptive and debilitating condition had Dana Prytula running to the bathroom.
I would have to be in the restroom every 15 to 20 minutes. So it affected my social life, my professional life.
Dana went to see Dr. Raveen Sayan, a urologist at the Desai Sethi Urology Institute, part of the University of Miami Health System, who specializes in pelvic floor disorders.
The overactive bladder is actually a very common disorder, so that's going often or urgently to the bathroom, with or without waking up a lot at night to pee, with or without leakage.
This tiny device implanted underneath the skin is changing the way people are getting relief from overactive bladder.
The most effective procedure is the sacral nerve stimulator. What it's composed of is a tiny wire that sits under the skin right at the tailbone level.
The device provides electrical stimulation to the nerves that act on the bladder and bowel.
It improves the bladder function by making the bladder contract less frequently, less intensely, so that urgency is improved.
The very next day, I felt a difference in my usage in the bathroom.
Patients charge the device once a month at home. Now Dana can travel without constantly stopping for bathroom breaks. She couldn't be more grateful to Dr. Cyan and the UHealth team.
She's amazing. I would call her a lifesaver.
Welcome back to SoFlo Health. I'm Hunter Frankie. This is Dr. Kyle Krupa. And earlier we did some dry needling with infrared therapy and some cupping for your ankle. So we're moving on to a little more active now. What are we doing next?
Yeah, so actually we're going to be testing your foot speed now and your awareness of where your foot is in space.
And why is that important to test?
Using a device like this, like the QuickBoard, that actually helps us detect any kind of asymmetry.
Okay, cool. So what do we do?
So this is our iPad that we're going to use that is going to show you where your foot needs to be placed at each step. Okay. It's going to set a timer, and then you're going to actually see the video and the demonstration of the exercise first.
Okay.
And then you're just going to follow along with that once the timer actually goes out.
So what have we learned by doing this with me?
So we learned that your left leg definitely does not have the proprioception or reaction time that your right leg has. So we're not just screening with something like this, we're not just detecting asymmetry, but now we're going to repeat it over and over and drill it so that you actually start to build that symmetry between it.
All right, well, we've got something after this. The electric bath?
That's right. We're going to be dunking your foot into an electric bath that's going to have that current running through it. So,
all right, well, let's get set up for the electric bath. What is this doing here?
Actually, now we're going to focus on recovery.
Okay.
So we're going to be using the new Fit device here.
Yes.
This is, we used it actually a while ago.
I'll never forget
it. On your quad.
Yes.
That's right. Okay,
now you probably know my next question.
Is it safe?
Electric, water.
Right.
How does this work?
Okay, so running, as long as the other electrode does not submerge into the water, it's all safe. Even if it does, it's just going to backfire off the machine anyway. It's going to stop the whole thing. But that would be the only way is if we tried to like touch both the electrodes in there at the same time. But there's a safety mechanism within the machine and you just shut it off.
So I shouldn't have to say this, but I will. Do not try to recreate this ever at home or without a professional. So here I go.
And then now I'm going to slowly turn this up.
Oh, wow. Not what I expected. Not bad, but not what I expected.
And see if you can move your toes while you're in there.
They're moving.
Okay.
This should be like a relaxing.
Yeah, exactly. It's for the end of a session, right? We want to make sure that you're actually recovering here and not being overly stimulated and over challenged to the point where we're creating even more fatigue now.
So this should be almost like a little bit of a massage. Like, and it's like it's pulsing a little bit?
Yeah.
Well, Kyle, if people want to learn more about any of what we did here today, how can they?
Yeah, they could find us online at www.crewperformance.com, or you can find us on Instagram at Crew Performance Lab.
Excellent. I'll hang out here for just a couple more minutes. Kyle, thank you so much, and I'll see you when you keep watching SoFlo Health. Come right back. Dr. Monique shares how acupuncture can alleviate pain after the break on SoFlo Health.
Focusing on you. Innovations in modern medicine from your team of experts at UHealth, the University of Miami Health System.
Dexter Dwight, a classical percussionist, loves performing, but weakness on his left side made it difficult.
Especially with my left arm, it was really starting to affect how I could play.
Dexter's spinal cord was compressed. Dr. Matthew Cummock, a UHealth neurosurgeon who specializes in minimally invasive spine surgery, says cervical degenerative disease can cause concerning symptoms.
So people may start having progressive gait imbalance. People may start to have numbness or tingling of their hands as it goes up in their hands into their arms. The goal is to treat them before they become permanent or even worse.
UHealth Jackson Neurosurgery is uniquely positioned to provide a number of options when it comes to spine surgery. For Dexter, Dr. Cummock used a titanium disc to relieve pressure on his spinal cord.
The goal for us is always to do the most minimally invasive procedure as possible. So going from the front of the neck, you're able to push everything aside to get to where you need to go.
I was amazed that I only spent one night in the hospital.
Dexter is back playing in the orchestra. He's grateful for Dr. Cummock and the power of two, UHealth Jackson Neurosurgery.
We had a concert with the band 10 days ago. It all went well. So yeah, it's just amazing.
TD! Welcome back to Soulful Health. I'm Hunter Frankie, and no, that wasn't just an exclamation for my world-class entrance. It stands for Total Daily Energy Expenditure. And in just a moment, I'll have a fancy pyramid graphic here for you to explain more about this. But first, watch this. We're back at 5 Element Wellness Center, and I'm once again with Dr. Monique. Dr. Monique, thanks for joining us again.
Thank you. Welcome back.
Oh, thank you. We're happy to be here. Last few times we were together, we spoke about weight loss, which is something you do here, but
Right.
you also do pain management. Is that right?
So we incorporate the time-tested science of acupuncture and oriental medicine, and then we bring in new science and innovative solutions like FSM and red light therapy, injections. So it really depends on what the patient needs.
Later on, we'll hear Gina's story, but she was telling us about acupuncture being a big part of her pain management. How does that help pain management?
So acupuncture will help getting rid of inflammation, helping with the pain management. It's not a one-time thing. So when a patient comes in and we see on what level of pain they are and what's really causing the problem, that's when we tell them how often they have to come in. Once they're pain-free, it's just about coming in for a tune-up.
Great. Well, let's take a second and listen to Gina's story, and then we'll check back in. Sound good? Great.
Well, I have a lot of sciatic nerve injuries on my lower body, if you will. I didn't want to mask a problem that could have been addressed, so I actually went and took a course on acupuncture before I started to understand it, and I was hooked. You know, you have a choice in life. You can pay for prescription drugs and mask your problem, or you can find a lifestyle that can help you you know, go into your next chapter. It doesn't hurt to make an appointment and come because, you know, if you don't come, you won't know.
Who is acupuncture for?
It's for anyone. You don't necessarily have to be in pain to come in. That's another misconception that people have. So let's fix before it breaks. Like let's figure it out. Okay, well this might go wrong, so let's fix it now before you actually have to take statins, before you have to take blood pressure medication.
And for pain management in general, who's a good candidate for the type of pain management you do here?
Any patient that's suffering from chronic pain for long term, if it feels that it's hopeless, we can help them.
If people would like to learn more, how can they?
They can call the office, they can follow us on Facebook. You know, if you have questions, just come in, do a consultation. We'll figure out what your needs are and put you on a plan.
Great. Dr. Monique, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
TD, as promised, a pyramid graphic showing you your total daily energy expenditure. Couldn't have made this any bigger, guys? I mean, come on. Okay, it's better. Hey, all right, I get it. Yeah, that's enough. So at the base of the pyramid, you have your BMR, your basal metabolic rate, and that's just what's required to keep your body on and functioning with nothing extra. And that's about 60% of the calories used in a day are just keeping you alive. And then 30% is your physical activity, and that's broken up into two parts: your exercise and what's called NEAT, your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. And that includes everything from exercise, and then your NEAT is getting you from point A to point B, walking around the house, fidgeting at your desk, all the extra movement you do throughout a day that you were going to do anyway. And finally, at the top of the pyramid, we have the thermic effect of food. What the heck that means after this. Welcome to Edgewater at Boca Point, one of two AXE retirement communities right here in Boca. The other is St. Andrews Estates, just nearby. Retirement is something that can be exciting for some and daunting for others, but thankfully we're here to meet a couple who's not only excited about retirement, but thoroughly enjoying it. And they have some advice for those of you considering retirement in a community like this.
We want to be prepared for the future. And we are active, happy, healthy now and grateful for it. But nobody knows what's down the road. So we wanted to make sure that road was a road we have chosen.
We were in the lobby and were introduced to people. And one gentleman said to me, "Are you thinking of moving here?" I said, "Yes." He looked at me and said, "You're not going to like it." I said, "Is that real?" He said, "You're going to love it here." And he was right.
Our meals are available to us every day, so we don't have to cook anymore.
We don't have to worry about maintenance. We don't have to worry about property insurance. And they take care of everything for us here.
There's a lot of activities. You can see what the weather is like most of the time. So we're just happy as can be.
And we're right now fortunate to be in independent living, but things do happen. And then we would have the opportunity to move into assisted living and or the other memory care, dependent upon one's needs. So as Toby said, we're preparing for the future.
For more information, please call 561-961-8541 or visit our website.
Before the break, we were talking about this pyramid, which breaks down how your body uses calories throughout a day to give you energy. Welcome back to SoFlo Health. I'm Hunter Franke. We left off at the top of the pyramid, which is about 10% of the calories that you use in a day for most people, and that's the thermic effect of food. The thermic effect of food is a fancy way of saying that food requires energy for you to break down and digest. Some foods require more energy than others to break down and burn more calories because of that, such as proteins in fibrous foods versus dietary fats, which are easier for your body to absorb and don't require as much energy to break down. This is why you may have heard that celery, for example, is calorie negative. It's not that there's negative calories in celery, it's just that you require more energy to burn celery than it's giving you back in return, ending up in a net negative effect. Okay, so your total daily energy expenditure pyramid is not perfect and it's not the same for each person. However, the ratios remain largely the same for pretty much everyone. The key takeaway here is you can't control your BMR, which is most of your calories burned anyway. However, you can control the physical activity you get throughout a day and the food that you eat to better your health. Now, that's all we have for this week's episode of SoFlo Health. As always, you can watch previous episodes of SoFlo Health on SoFloShows.com. You can also follow us using @SoFlo Health to share with us what you're doing to stay healthy. Until next episode, it's goodbye and good health.